I'm Mike Hamilton. I'm 50 plus and I run a media company. I use AI every single day. And I have absolutely no interest in pretending I understand every new AI announcement the moment some 24-year-old with a ring light says it's literally changing everything. Because right now, AI has a language problem, not a technology problem, a language problem. The people building this stuff use words that sound like they ought to mean something clear, like agents, reasoning, multimodal, context, hallucination, open model, private AI. And if you've been nodding along while quietly thinking, okay, but what does that actually mean for me? Well, that's good, because that means you're my people. Today, I want to unpack the AI things that are genuinely confusing right now in plain English. No hype, no doom, just what the words mean, what they can do, where they can break, and what deserves your attention. And the good news is you do not need to become an AI person. You need to become a person who knows when AI is useful, when it's making things up, and when somebody is trying to sell you a toaster with a chatbot glued to the side. Let's get into it. AI agents are not just fancy chatbots. Agents, that's the first thing. Every company on earth has apparently decided the word agent is the new word for please give us money. You hear it everywhere now. Agentic AI, AI agents, autonomous agents, multi-agent workflows. It sounds like a movie where a computer gets a badge and a sidearm. Here's the simple version. A chatbot talks, an agent does. That's it. It's the whole thing. That is the difference. When you open ChatGPT and say, write me an email, that's a chatbot interaction. You ask, it answers. You decide what happens next. An agent gets closer to, here's the goal, go do the steps. For example, look thoroughly at my calendar for 3 possible times next week, draft an email to those people, and wait for me before you send it. That is an agent, shaped like job, like a job. AI may need to look at the calendar, read an email thread, figure out time zones, write something sensible, and then hand it back to you. That's not magic. It's just software using a language model as the brain in the middle. Think of it less like hiring a new employee and more like giving an eager intern access to several browser tabs. An eager intern who can work very fast, an eager intern who does not get tired, and an eager intern who will occasionally send you an email saying your meeting is scheduled for February 31st with tremendous confidence. Now, that last part is important. An agent is useful when the job is repetitive, the stakes are manageable, and there is a clear approval point. Sort these customer inquiries into folders. Great. Pull the facts from these 20 invoices into a spreadsheet. Wonderful. With a human check. Spend $8,000 of my ad budget however you think is best. Okay. Absolutely not. Put the laptop down. The confusing part is that agent can describe everything from a helpful workflow to a software system with access to your files, email, money, calendar, customer data, and a very optimistic idea of its own competence. So when somebody says, we're adding agents, ask one question: what can it actually touch? Can it only suggest? Can it draft? Can it read? Can it send? Can it buy? Can it delete? That question matters a whole lot more than whatever futuristic name they gave it. The useful future is not one giant AI that runs your life. The useful future is a handful of tightly managed helpers doing boring work for you. That question matters a whole lot more than whatever futuristic name they gave it. The useful future is not one giant AI that runs your life. The useful future is a handful of tightly managed helpers doing boring work you already hate. That's the version I want. AI is reasoning now, and why that doesn't mean it thinks like you. The next confusing word is reasoning. Now, you may have noticed AI companies now brag about, next confusing word is reasoning. You may have noticed AI companies now brag about models that think longer. They reason, they deliberate, they use more compute. And somebody usually announces this as if the computer has suddenly discovered the meaning of life and may be calling its mother later. Let's slow down. Today's episode is brought to you by Positive Vibes. Look, the internet gives us plenty to be frustrated about, so it's nice to have one place built to put something better back into your day. Positive Vibes shares a new positive message every day on Facebook and Instagram. Something simple, encouraging, and worth taking a minute to read before you dive back into emails, news, and whatever else is trying to ruin your mood. Head over to getpositivevibes.com for more good vibes, uplifting content, and to sign up for the newsletter. It's an easy way to get a little encouragement delivered straight to you. Follow Positive Vibes on Facebook and Instagram. Visit getpositivevibes.com and stay positive. Traditional chatbot is built to respond quickly. You ask it something, it predicts a useful next word, then another word, then another word. That is oversimplification, but it gets us close enough for today. A reasoning model gets more time before it answers. Instead of blurting out the first thing that sounds plausible, it can work through a harder problem, try different approaches, check itself, use tools, and then give you the answer. That can be very useful for things like math, coding, research, planning, data analysis, or comparing a complicated stack of documents. More time does not turn it into a wise adult. It can reason beautifully from a bad assumption. It can build a gorgeous logical staircase that ends at the wrong house. It can still invent a fact that is not there. It can still invent a fact that's not there. So when somebody says this model reasons, hear this instead. This model may be better at difficult multi-step work if you give it enough time and good information. That's impressive. It's also not the same as judgment. Judgment comes from knowing what matters. It comes from experience. It comes from understanding people, context, consequences, and the fact that sometimes the technically correct answer is still the dumb thing to do. If you're Gen X, you already understand this distinction. You've watched somebody make a PowerPoint that was technically perfect and still completely miss the room. That's AI sometimes. It can summarize the meeting. It cannot always tell you that Bob in accounting is quietly furious and this project is dead by Thursday. Use reasoning models for the work where careful processing helps. Don't hand them the work where taste, responsibility, relationships, or consequences are the main thing. Hallucinations. Why AI lies without lying. Let's talk about hallucinations. This is one of the words I wish we had picked better because it makes people think AI is having a little robot fever dream. It is not. A hallucination is just an answer that sounds confident and useful, but is false. A fake quote, a made-up source, a product feature that does not exist, a legal case nobody ever heard of, confident summary of a document it did not actually understand. And AI does this because it is designed to give you an answer. Think about the old GPS units. Remember when they would calmly tell you to turn left into a lake? Anybody seen The Office? They were not trying to drown you. They just had a bad map and no meaningful understanding of the situation. AI is like that, except it has better grammar. That makes it more dangerous. When a person says, I don't know, you have a useful signal. When AI says, here are 5 sources and 3 of them are fictional, but formatted correctly, you have a problem. Researchers are actively working on ways to teach AI systems to express uncertainty more honestly. That's good, but it's not the same as the problem being solved in the products you use every day. So here's my working rule. AI is a great first draft. It's a terrible final authority. Use it to help you think, use it to organize, use it to give you a starting point. Use it to turn a messy voice memo into a usable outline. Use it to find the questions you should ask. But if the answer has consequences, money, medicine, law, a client, your reputation, a contract, a school assignment, your kid's health, you verify it. You click the source. You read the actual document. You call the person. You do the grown-up thing. I know, picking up a phone sucks. The biggest AI skill is not writing a clever prompt. It is knowing what cannot be trusted without checking. And honestly, that's not new. That's just media literacy with a better user interface. AI can see, hear, read, and watch now. Sort of. Another phrase you'll hear is multimodal AI. That word means an AI can work with more than just one kind of input. Text is one model, images are another, audio is another, video is another. So a multimodal model can look at a photo, listen to a recording, read a PDF, and answer questions about all of it. They can watch YouTube videos now too. That is genuinely useful. You can take a picture of a weird error message on an appliance and ask what it means. You can upload a meeting recording and pull out action items. You can give it a spreadsheet and ask what changed. You can show a photo of your garage and get help making a list of what you need at the hardware store. That last one may be the most honest use case in all of AI. But there are two things to remember. First, can look at image does not mean understands the world like a human being. It may be very good at identifying what is in a photo, then miss something obvious about scale, location, danger, or I don't know, common sense. Second, the privacy question gets bigger the minute you move beyond typing into a box. When you upload a photo, document, recording, or video, ask, where's it going? Is it being stored? Is it used to improve the system? Is it a business account with different protections or a consumer product with different rules? I mean, listen, I'm not telling you to panic. I am telling you not to upload your client list, tax return, medical records, or the secret sauce spreadsheet just because an AI tool gives you a friendly little paperclip asking for something, usually your time, your money, your data, or I don't know, all three. Deepfakes. We are losing the I saw it, so it happened era. Now, let's talk about the thing that deserves more attention than it gets. Deepfakes. We have crossed into a world where a photo, an audio clip, or a video can be unbelievable but believable without being real. Not always perfect, not always impossible to spot, but believable enough to fool people in the moment, especially on Facebook. And the moment is when scams, outrage, and misinformation do their work. That changes the old rule. For most of our lives, seeing was believing. Now, seeing is a reason to ask another question. Where did this come from? Can I find the original source? Is it a reputable outlet? Is it a reputable outlet reporting the same thing? Does this person normally talk like this, move like this, look like this? And before we get dramatic, this does not mean every video is fake. It means video is no longer automatic proof. That is a big cultural change. The European Union is rolling out transparency requirements around certain AI-generated or AI-altered content, including deepfakes and material on matters of public interest. That is a reasonable direction. Labels will help when they exist, but labels are not a magic shield. A scammer does not wake up in the morning and say, oh, I sure hope I can comply with the transparency rules today. So for regular people, the practical defense is boring and effective. Slow down, especially when the message creates urgency. Your grandson is in jail. Your boss needs gift cards right now. Gift cards. This celebrity says you should invest today. This video proves the thing that makes you furious. Urgency is the oldest trick in the book. AI did not invent it. AI just gave it a better microphone. If the request involves money, private information, or a major emotional reaction, verify it another way. Call the person using a number you already have. Don't reply to the incoming message. Don't click the link they gave you. Start fresh. That one habit will save people a lot of grief. Copyright, the question nobody can answer in one sentence. Let's move to copyright because this is one of the messiest conversations in AI. People ask, is AI stealing? And the honest answer is that question contains several different questions mashed together. What material was used to train the model? Was it licensed? Was it publicly available? Was it copied illegally before the training? Does training on a work count as copyright infringement? What happens if the AI creates something that looks too much like a living artist's work? Who owns the output? Can a person copyright AI-assisted work? Different countries are working through different versions of these questions. Courts, governments, publishers, artists, record labels, tech companies, and creators all have strong opinions, which is another way of saying nobody has a tidy answer yet. Here's the plain English version. AI companies needed a giant amount of human-made material to build systems that can write, draw, speak, code, and create images. That material came from somebody, somewhere. Some of it was licensed, some was public, some is disputed. And the rules around what is permitted, what is fair use, what requires payment, and what requires permission are still being worked out. So if you are a creator, do not let anybody tell you this is a settled issue. It is not. And if you use AI as a creator, do not let anybody tell you it is automatically unethical or automatically fine. It depends on the tool, the source material, how you use it, and what you're making. My advice is pretty simple. Use AI to assist your work. Do not use it to erase your responsibility for the work. Use it to brainstorm, organize, rewrite, transcribe, clean up, explore options, and get unstuck. But do not use it as a vending machine for somebody else's style, voice, face, music, or reputation. If your prompts make this exactly like whoever, fill in the blank, you already know you are in the sketchy part of town. And if your business depends on content you can prove you own, understand the terms of the tools you use, save your source files, keep your processes, know what human contribution you brought to the final work. Show your work. Remember that. That is not paranoia. That is just good business. The thing that actually matters. Here's where I land on all of this. AI is not one thing. It's not a robot. It's not a search engine. It's not a coworker. It's not a god. It's not automatically a scam either. It is a set of tools that can be incredibly useful in the hands of somebody who has judgment. And judgment is where people with experience have an advantage. You know what a bad customer email sounds like. You know when a headline is technically accurate but misleading. You know when a great idea is going to create 3 weeks of cleanup. You know that the version that looks easiest on a spreadsheet can be the version that makes everybody miserable. That is not old-fashioned. That is valuable. The people who do best with AI will not necessarily be the people who do best with AI will not necessarily be the people who can recite every model name. They will be the people who can say, this task is safe to automate, or this one needs a draft, not a decision, or this answer needs checking, or this tool does not get access, or this tool doesn't get access to that information. And this flashy thing does not solve a problem I actually have. That's the whole game. You do not need to chase every release. Pick one repetitive thing that annoys you. One. Maybe it's summarizing meetings. Maybe it's writing first drafts. Maybe it's organizing research. Maybe it's turning a rough idea into a checklist. Maybe it's cleaning up a transcript. We do that a lot. Try AI there. Keep the useful part. Throw out the rest. And if it saves you time, great. You did not fall behind. You just got a tool. That is the season take. No hype, no doom. AI is powerful, confusing, sometimes useful, sometimes confidently wrong, and absolutely not a substitute for having a brain. Use it where it helps. Keep a hand on the wheel. And remember, you are not too late. The advantage is not knowing every button. The advantage is knowing what matters. I'm that Mike Hamilton. Make sure to subscribe, like. I'm that Mike Hamilton. Make sure to subscribe and like. It really helps. And check out my website at thatmikehamilton.com and sign up for my daily newsletter. Thanks for watching. And if there's one AI term that everybody keeps throwing around and you want it translated into normal human language, drop it in the comments. I'll take a swing at it. See ya.